Alright, thank you all for being here. If you want to wave to the camera. There's 5 of them. Thank you so much for helping me with this presentation. So today I'm going to be talking about a scholarly person and just what it takes to be a scholarly person in different workforce. So there's just some different traits of an overall scholarly person that I came up with. The first is passionate, because I think it's really important for someone who is just a scholarly person in their career to be really passionate about what they're doing, just so that they really have that interest and are seeking out more information on their own, rather than someone who's disinterested and doesn't want to do that work or be furthering themselves in that career. I also think it's really important to be invested, whether that's invested financially by going to school or donating in organizations that you're interested in, or invested with your time with volunteering or working in the different investments that you can put yourself in for different things that you're interested in. I also think it's very important to be proactive in what you're doing. I think a scholarly person is someone who doesn't need to be told what to do and doesn't need kind of a list of what to do, but they see needs in what they're working on and they just go ahead and do it and take care of these things, and they're very proactive about them. And the last trait that I have of a scholarly person is that they are knowledgeable. Both that I think it's important to be knowledgeable in what you're talking about so that you're not spreading false information, but also it's important to be knowledgeable so that you're continually seeking more information about that for yourself so that you can be more effective with the people that you're working with and the different tasks that you are doing. Next slide I have is about an everyday hero that I found in my own life, and the person that I chose as a scholarly person in my life is actually a professor who I had here at Winona State, who is someone I also knew from church, and his name is Dr. Schul. I knew him in a lot of different ways, and I see him as a scholarly person because he is very educated. He's got his master's degree and a lot of other degrees, although he came from a very poor family and a very uneducated family. He's the first one in his entire family to ever get a college degree, and I believe also the first one in his family to get a high school diploma. So he's very educated, although he didn't really come from a background that was really something that he was pushed towards, but he was proactive and really strived to do that on his own. Another reason that I think he is a scholarly person is that he's very successful in what he does. He has a very successful job working at a university, and he has a successful life in other ways. He has a wife and 4 kids and is very happy in what he's doing. Also, because he is a positive role model to those around him, whether it's his students in the classes that he has or different people that he sees in church or in other areas that I have known him. He just lives a life where he is consistently seeking knowledge. He's always reading different journal articles or different books and always trying to better himself so that he can help others around him, and not just living a life that he can be proud of and share that with everybody else around him. Next thing I'm going to talk about is my own academic plan and what I'm doing to further myself and become a more scholarly person. In my education here at Winona State, I started as an elementary education major, so I have a lot of background in education courses and child development and that kind of background. And with this, I really want to be ending up working with kids still. So most likely working with foster kids is something that I'm really passionate about. So I've taken a lot of those development and family type courses to understand just family dynamics and everything that goes on with that. Some of the different social justice and multicultural issues that I'll have to deal with that. There's a lot of them with foster kids just because there's a lot of different family dynamics that you'll have to deal with that and understand. And so since I'll be working with a lot of kids in different cultural backgrounds, I'll have to have a really good understanding of where they're coming from, different cultural traditions and practices that they have growing up. And while almost 50% of children in foster care are Caucasian, that also means that there's a little bit over 50% who are not and have a different background and upbringing that I do. And so it'll be important for me to understand that, as well as to understand the culture that these kids are going into, especially those who have different ethnic backgrounds, just helping them to understand the culture that they are going into, as this is a very racially driven culture right now that we are living in. Last one that I'm going to talk about is the different effects that education can have on your life. The first one that I think a lot of people think of when going into college is the financial effects that this can have. Because a lot of times having a further education, whether it's finishing high school or finishing a bachelor's degree in college or going on to a master's or doctorate in college, a lot of people just know that the further you go in school, the higher you will be paid in your career. So a lot of times that's a big driving factor for people, is that you will be doing better off financially. And one statistic that I found was that people who do graduate college are paid an average of $17,500 more than people their same age who received only a high school diploma. And another effect of education professionally is just that you'll have a lot more career opportunities. There's a lot of jobs that are not open to people who don't have at least a bachelor's degree, such as teaching, doctors, nurses, as well as needing even further education for doctors and things like that. As well as while you're already in a career, even if it's a career that you did not need a bachelor's degree for, there will be a lot more opportunities and just open doors for advancing within that career if you have further education. So these are reasons why I think it's important to get a lot of education and to just be an overall scholarly person. Thank you for this. Woo!
Smashing.